Hello everyone. Let's see Joplin Notes today. Joplin Notes is one of the best note-taking app that's available for all devices. Let's see how it works and what are the pros and cons. Joplin Notes is almost like Evernote or Notes Note that we have seen before. You can just swipe right and you will see the notebooks and all the other categories on the left-hand side menu. You can create different notebooks to categorize them. Let me create a notebook that says English and click on the save button. Let me create one more notebook. Save. So you can see all the notebooks that we have created here under the notebooks section. So in case if you want to see all the notes, you can click all notes at the top. You see all the notes that we have created. These are the default notes that were already there, and the first three notes are created by me. So in case if you want to segregate the notes, you can just select them, click here, move to notebook. You can select the notebook that you want to move to. Say I'm just moving it there. So once I click, I'll see only those notebooks created under that category. It's easier to segregate the notebooks this way. And the default notes shows you all the things the app provides you, how to use the notes, so it will be easy for you to get help. To create a new note, you can click plus sign and click a new to do or note. Let's create a new note test, and you see all the markdown options at the bottom or the rich text options. You can create a bold text, or you can create a heading, or you want to create any mathematical operation, you can do that as well. There are a lot of options here, and you can click the three dots on the right hand side top, and you also have the option to attach files, or you can draw a picture, you can do voice typing, and you have more other options. You can go through them. So let's see the settings or the configuration. Under general category, you can configure the language, time, and also you have the option to use app lock using biometrics. There is no pin option, just the biometric. How you want the app to appear. Synchronization. If you are using the app on other devices and you want to synchronize the data, you can configure the option here. You can select the cloud where you want the data to be saved, or in case if you don't have any other option but you want to synchronize somewhere, you can select file system, and you can select the directory or the path where it needs to be saved. So I'm creating a place where it needs to be sync time. And in case if you want to encrypt, you can enable encrypt as well. Give a password for encryption. So it's done. You also have the option to enable plugins, but if you enable plugins, the plugins are not created by them. There are that were created by contributors. So in case if you care very much about the privacy, then you have to think twice about installing any plugin. You have to check the plugin information yourself before you install it. Or if you care about the privacy, better not enable the plugin support. You can configure the markdown option here. What are the options that you want to enable or disable? You can do that. And Again, the configuration regarding the notes, note history. So in case if you are making any change and you want to revert the change back, you can enable this and you can let know how many days you want the history to be saved. And this option is actually, though it uh, saves the note history, you can't use it on app. When you restore from the note history, you can do it only on the desktop app. Under tools, you have manage profiles. Manage profiles is something almost like a different space that we created in the other notepad apps that we have seen before. So let's say I'm creating a different node, different profile that says private. So now I have two profiles. If I click private and I'm going there, you can see that the lot of other nodes that were created before are not there. Let's say if you haven't seen that, I'm deleting them all. So under the private section, you can see that there are notebooks there because this is a totally different space. So apart from creating notebooks to categorize notes, you can also create a different profile to create a separate set of notes. Click on switch profile, go back to the default one. It's a little slow compared to the other apps. You can see that. So now you can see that I've deleted the notes on the other profile, but it's here on this profile. So what are the other configuration options? Uh, that's the thing that we have seen under tool. Apart from that, you have the sync status log. This is in case if you need them. Import export. Apart from syncing is just to sync your data across other devices, but that is not taking backup. Let's say you deleted some data, that will be synced with other devices as well. But in case if you want to restore the data, sync will not help at that time. So at that moment, it's better to use an file that was backed up using the export. So you can just click on export and it'll export the file. In case if you want to import it, you can click on import and import the same. And you also have the option to export the profile completely. That's it. So let's see more about the nodes. So you can see that it takes a fraction of seconds to open the notes. It's not as fast as the other notes, but there are some advantages in using this notes yet. This is a free notepad app, completely free. You don't need to worry about any separate plan to get additional features. It's open source, so you don't need to worry about the privacy of your data. What are the pros? It's open source, so privacy is guaranteed, privacy friendly, end to end encryption. When you sync your data or when you take backup, it's encrypted before it is saved to the cloud or it is synced to the other device. It's all encrypted, so you don't need to worry about privacy again. It's offline first, so whatever notes you create by default are stored on your device. You don't need to have internet connection. You can just access it as it is. Media notes, you have the option to add images, videos, PDF, audio files, anything to your notes. It's available for all devices. Plugins are available, but as I mentioned, when you enable it, you have to consider about the privacy of your notes in case if you store any important data. Again, the additional other options that I mentioned can sync to cloud, note history. So in case if you do something and you want to just revert it at that moment or a later sometime, you can just go through the history and you can revert. Backup, you can export your notes and import it whenever you need. Biometric app lock, in case if you want to lock the app. What are the cons? Lagging on Android, I have not tested in on other devices, but as you can see, When we open the note, it takes a few fraction of seconds to open the notes. At times, depending on your um, depending on the other apps installed and your RAM size, it might lag a little more. It would have been better if it's more fluid, if it's more fast. There is no pin or password of app lock. We have just the biometric app lock. Note history restore works only on desktop. As I have already mentioned, in case if you want to restore using the note history, you can do that only on the desktop. But if you are taking backup using export, you can do that to import the backup. That would work. That's it. Thank you. Please like and subscribe, and also leave your comments and let us know what app you want us to review next.